Sure.
Okay, so thanks very much for being here. I'll introduce myself. I'm Scott Forcino, an associate broker with eXp Realty and a founder of PlugIntro. I needed to meet who I should know, and I needed to demonstrate more value to people. So I created this platform so I could meet more people and assist others to connect who they should meet. I have Derek Nielsen with me today. He's from Exit Realty in the state of Massachusetts. Good afternoon, Derek. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So I want to hear about you and the market you serve and even your other business as well, and what really makes you tick as far as this real estate business.
So yeah, I'm with Exit Realty All-Stars, Nielsen Realty Group. It's out of Brockton, Mass. Brockton is about 25, 30 minutes south of Boston. I live south of Brockton myself in Middleboro, which is right next to America's hometown, Plymouth. So my location in Middleboro, I can do 45 minutes to Providence, Rhode Island, and then 45 minutes to Boston. So basically, I service Mass and Rhode Island, primarily the South Shore of Massachusetts. Don't really do too much out in the Western Mass, but yeah, no, it's busy market right now for sure.
Right, I hear that's so competitive with sellers getting over asking and multiple offers. How do you navigate those?
I mean, as far as if you're not priced accordingly, you know it. The properties are under agreement within 3 days, typically. I mean, what I primarily do is put it on the market Tuesday, Wednesday, and you have your open houses over the weekend, and you leave a deadline offer of say Tuesday evening. So I mean, we just closed today on a 2-family in Taunton. That one over asking, FHA actually financing. All the parties were that looked at the 2-family in Taunton were all from the Boston area. Not really one party came from the local area. I'd spoken about this earlier, but just to reiterate, the remote working right now and people moving into Mass from other states, people are more or less moving down into the South Shore where it's more affordable for prices. A $600,000 2-family in Taunton, you're looking in Boston, 1.2, and you have rental income that is pretty substantial still, even in the South Shore. So, I mean, it's not that it's less competitive in the South Shore. It's just more affordable for people. And then you have people that have lived here for 7, 8 years that are moving now to either Rhode Island or New Hampshire or Vermont. But yeah, no, it's definitely, I would say for sure the remote working from COVID has changed the real estate game substantially.
Sure. And, I hate to say, you and I are both in the Northeast. These crummy winters, it really makes you want to stay inside. It's lazy, but it's a part of
it. It's spring's here amongst us now, thank God. But I mean, you don't primarily from Thanksgiving to the second week of January. A lot of people don't like to move in general due to the holidays. So I mean, to keep your pipeline going, through those months and into January, beginning of February, if you can stay busy through that time frame, you're gonna have a good year. Is what I always try for.
Sure. That makes sense. So where is your individual business referral based now? I mean, how do you?
I do. I have a marketing team. Handles the social media. One thing I will say, I was started 10 years ago, so it was just Facebook. Now there's, I don't know, 7, 8 different social media platforms.
Sure.
And it can take your whole day up just trying to market each platform at once. But Greatly Social is a great way to maintain your social media marketing. It more or less, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, Scott, but Greatly Social, you can put a post together, on Facebook or however you want to put it, and it will post out to every platform, just that through that one platform on Greatly Social. So you're not individually going and posting on each individual site. It really frees up a lot more time on that end of things. Do I do that? No, I have my team do that, but if any agents out there that are doing social media marketing, that's a great tool. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I've done well with social media marketing. In fact, that's how you and I met.
Yep.
I put together PlugIntro, which is really an opportunity to control your own local business media.
Yes. Yeah.
When you're pushing social media, I found that this really has become much and much less social. You're broadcasting.
Yeah.
If now as a individual broker on PlugIntro, if you're as a member, you'll have the opportunity to promote yourself by introducing others. And by that, I mean, you have a chance, because this PlugIntro platform is branded to Derek Nielsen, the opportunity to invite others in your community, friends, family, local business owners, and the industry professionals as a niche, as a group that really, really want to see each other prosper. They invite their contacts, the platform grows, and at some point, others will wish to be the exclusive provider of their services along with you. You're the exclusive agent, and there'll be times that plumbers, electricians, your accountants, your dentists want that, and they want to be in meetings and they have the opportunity of doing video interviews.
Sure. I mean, it makes it more interactive too, I would say.
Yeah, it makes you more committed too. You're committed to your group of people who are looking out for you and really have a great ability to introduce you to who you should know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a Mass Bay renovation development. I launched that company about 3 to 4 years ago. Just, more or less developments, flips, that sort of thing, on top of with what I have with Exit going on as representing buyers and sellers. So, I mean, to be able to interact, I guess, with local contractors, however you want to put it, would be definitely beneficial.
Yeah, they want to promote themselves, and they may not have a staff that just does social media marketing. I believe in the local business media channel, and my knock on social media is what you post is seen by your competition. It's not targeted to someone that you really wish to select to hear your message or to offer the chance to them to hear their own message. And sometimes it's not even local. I mean, a contractor's not going to go north of Boston. If you're south of Boston, they're not going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, no, exactly. Yeah. And I'm sure you're, the Boston traffic. So.
Ooh, terrible. Like, I mean, I know I just was in some New York traffic just now. I made a mistake of going a little bit too late in the day on a Friday.
Yeah. Fridays are the worst.
I wonder where are those people? They were working the other 4 days of the week. What were they doing?
Yeah. I still I don't understand it myself either.
Maybe they were just getting out of the city. I don't know. I mean, maybe this summer, but not now.
But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
It's important. So, I mean, I guess some of your business is referral based, people you've worked with in the past.
Yeah, no, I mainly it's referral based. I mean, I do get, as far as I actually Zillow, I did do some marketing with Zillow more aggressively when I first started. Now, not so much. The leads that you were getting out of Zillow, a lot of them were junk. But you still have to have some sort of marketing on Zillow. I still believe.
Yeah, presence, but there was
presence, exactly.
100 million page views on Zillow last year and only 5 million deals. So that means 95% failure, and that also means that of those 5 million, who's to say that those 5 million people picked an agent from Zillow? That's a very small percentage.
Yeah. No, speaking of which, I mean, talking statistics, I looked I think it was Tuesday of last week. I went back to 2012, and there were just over single family homes on MLS. A little over 21,000 single family homes on MLS back in 2012. On fast forward 10 years till last Tuesday, like Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, there were just over 2,100.
So 90% less
homes, single family homes.
Yeah. So 10%.
Yeah. It's insane. The inventory right now it's incredibly low. Incredible.
Well, I think this is going to stay terribly low inventory because when people are in their homes, here's the secret no one's, I think, talking about. If these rates go up, if these prices stabilize, people are really maxed out. They're not going to find any equity in the real near future.
It's very tough this to say, but I mean, I do agree with you to a certain extent. I think there's going to be a correction. There has to be. As far as Boston or, just on the outskirts of Boston in my area, I don't think will come down much at all. You'll see more of an effect on prices when the correction does happen. I would say out in like Western Mass, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, where it's less demanding, I guess. Less demanding. That's my perspective on it. It's really tough to say. The interest rates going up now. They're at 4.25% right now. People are jonesing out that they're saying that the interest rates are so high. I mean, first property I bought was back in 06 or 06, I think it was 06, and that was at 7%. So
the first place I bought was 1999. The rate was 9.25, and I was happy.
Yeah, I was ecstatic at 7%, but I mean 4.25 is still not bad. And it'll be an interesting 6 months, I'd say, to see how it all plays out, especially with everything going on in Ukraine, shortage on. I mean, right now it's $8. It's 8.25 for a 2x4.
I heard.
And I mean, it was what I'd say a year and a half ago, it was $3. I mean, it's insane, and they're fluctuating every week. The lumber prices are fluctuating every week. So
right. So how buying new construction, that's going to be tough dealing with contractors who are stuck at a certain price.
It is. It really is. I had a contract. Well, last year that is, it's actually should close, I would say, in about 6 weeks. The builder comes, and this was a phone call. You can't a tough phone call to make. We put the purchase and sale together at I think it was 580 in new construction. Contract, the purchase and sales executed. 2 months later, the builder calls up. About 6 weeks later, the builder calls me. He goes, "I can't build this house for this number. I'm going to lose money." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I need another 25 grand. Well, we got it on a purchase and sale. Like, what do you want me to do here?" He goes, "I can't build this house for that number. You got to get it amended." I said, "All right. Well, luckily, my buyers were fair and knew what was going on with lumber prices going up and so on and so forth, and at the equity that they would have in the property after it was done. And we went up to 605.
Mm-hmm.
After you sign a purchase and sale buyer and then have to go back and tell them, "Hey, you got to pay another 25 grand." It's never a good phone call to make, but yeah, it's actually, was just over there yesterday. The house is coming along great and they're happy. But yeah, it's crazy times we're living in right now for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the one thing that's constant is people need a place to live, and if they've done their job of having good income, good credit, they still are going to be in the hunt. And some really interesting article I saw was people are complaining about the interest rates on buying a home, but the interest rate on renting is 100%. So, that's one way to consider it. It makes you really put in perspective.
For sure. I mean, the rent roll, the rental income around, I mean, Boston right now, you guys are number 1 in New York City. San Fran's number 2, but Boston's actually number 3 in the country for highest single 1-bedroom rentals.
What do you think that is? What is that, about 3,000?
You know what? Last I checked in Boston for a 1-bedroom rental, it was somewhere between 28 to 3,000.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
And San Fran was number 2. And you guys up in New York City.
When I hear New York, that means many different things. There's condos, there's co-ops.
Yeah, you got to go by the average, but I think New York City was like $4 grand. a month.
Listen, I tell you, some of the things that I've seen and hear, people are walking around now with certified checks on Saturday mornings with a blank on it so that they could just hand it over while in the open house.
Yeah.
That's
It's like going to a live auction.
Yeah, I mean, but if you years ago when Greenspan said irrational exuberance, it's distasteful too. It really is making things. There can't be this type of inequality where people are able to. There's no place for a family now that's under. I mean, even under $500,000.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's crazy. I mean, what you have now is people relocating, like I was saying earlier, just so they can afford to live.
Mm-hmm.
They
Sure.
can afford to live. I mean, it really is. You gotta say where's it going to stop?
Well, tell me, how have you, with your sellers, how are you handling multiple offers and selecting the right buyer?
Multiple offers. So more or less, it's not just the conditions; it's the financing. You can have an offer FHA for $100,000 over, but with FHA, it has to appraise at or above. And if it's over, if it's a flip, it's got to be, and it's over 100%. So say you picked it up for 300,000, sold it for 600,000, so it's 100% increase in value between 90 to 180 days. Then there's a second appraisal. And if the second appraisal is typically what they go with if it's lower. So they go with the lowest appraisal. And on top of it all, it has to, it's got to appraise at or above. So, you got to look at the financing first and foremost, I would say. Everybody, 90% of the people are waiving home inspections. Do I agree with that on a buyer's perspective? Yeah, sure. If it's new construction, you're probably going to 1-year warranty on it. Anyways, if it's a condo, 90%, then it's a condo and a condo building. You really just have to worry about the interior of the unit. But if it's a house, we got a lot of old houses in Massachusetts.
Sure.
You got houses from the 1700s. The waiver home inspection on in this house from the 1790 or 1800, I would never do a day in my life. I don't care how competitive the market is. But I mean, a lot of people waive home inspections, because in that way you can just go right to purchase and sale. And you look at what they're putting down on deposits, time frames. A lot of lenders right now are getting closings done in 30 days, where typically it was 45 days.
60 days.
60 days. Yeah. I mean, there's not many refis going on right now. The interest rate's going up.
No, that's gone.
That's freeing their time up. So in the aspect of multiple offers, conditions, timeline, financing, it all plays into it.
And what about the tougher challenge of getting buyers' offers accepted? How are you handling that?
That's where you got to work your magic. An aggressive offer right now as a buyer, you're going over asking, probably 20, 30 grand anyways. You're waiving home inspection. You're waiving your mortgage contingency. So if you lose your job, you don't have a mortgage contingency, you're going to lose your deposit.
Yeah, that can happen.
It can happen. So I mean, people are waiving mortgage contingencies. They're waiving home inspections. They don't have any contingencies as far as selling a house. That's another thing. If you have a house to sell, a house to sell before you buy, that's
less competitive.
Less competitive when you have somebody that doesn't need to sell a house. That's a big aspect too. As far as I would say the mortgage contingency is, then you have also too is if they'll put in the additional terms. We'll pay up to $20,000 over and above the appraisal value. So after the appraisal's done, if the appraisal doesn't come in on the number, they'll still cover up to 20 grand, for example,
Right.
to bring to the table over and above. So not only do you get these people, not a lot of people right now are going into houses upside down.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, that's how competitive it is. To say how it's going to play out, it's very tough to say. But
Yeah, there are people that, I mean, I think we've had, I'm going to be that old guy now. I think we've had the last of the great runs, because I was in this in 1997. I've seen run, I've seen, there was that 2014, 15 run.
yeah,
How, practically speaking, could there be another acceleration like this?
I mean, I honestly think right now in my area it's flatlined, but I think last year was an 18 to 20% increase in the home value.
Oh yeah, and it was the most mortgage money ever loaned last year.
So I mean, from what I've read and they're saying another 3% increase in 2022 and another 3% increase in 2023. I don't know. I don't think they predicted this war that's been going on, but we'll see what happens.
There's a lot. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
There's so much. I mean, clients should know that what they're getting in, because at this point, there's been people who've been on the sidelines and they're watching all the news reports and they look at all the social media posts. I've seen some people, and the question I have is, where have you been for the last, during COVID and after COVID?
Yeah, I mean, actually, speaking of Plymouth was the most moved to town in Massachusetts during COVID. So it was, there was a big influx of people moving from out of the major cities to the Plymouth area, or in Plymouth during I think it was during the whole COVID span. That was the highest move to town. But yeah, no, I mean, it really, I don't see it going up drastically anymore. And if we're going to ever see something like this again, it's not going to be for another 15 years. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be for a very long
Everything would have to catch up. I mean,
yeah.
That's the real estate business. But then I also had an experience within the business of real estate where connections are so important. I have a transaction now where, because we knew both lawyers, because we knew the bank real well, I mean, a few texts accelerated this transaction from really Wednesday to today, where if you had to do everything with unknown parties and other issues where, let's say, even the buyer could be a problem, because if they go to some obscure bank somewhere or online bank.
You have I had a transaction. I know exactly what you're talking about. And we were just talking about how across the country people operate differently. I was buying it through Mass Bay. We were buying a condo in Taunton through a nationwide wholesaler. They would find a deal with, but their title company, Alamo Title, was awful to deal with, and it set the deal back 3-4 weeks. And I mean, at that point, then the seller, I'm sorry, they get aggravated, and you're trying to hold on to a deal to make to make profit on it on the back end, and it's just if you don't have the network set up, it's super important.
It really is. And as I was saying, you could have an all-star team out there, but then the buyer is the client. They could think they know better. They listen to their uncle, and now what? Right? I mean, you could have a great team, and I've been there. But and here's another issue that we all should know with regard to teams and networking and having a local business platform where you're working together and you're building a nuclear, opportunity for everyone. That if you think about it, between lending and realtors, all the technology and all the venture capital, all the Wall Street money is attacking you and attacking me and attacking the lenders, because the whole model is direct consumer to the provider. Look at Rocket Mortgage, look at Zillow. There's nobody putting money behind trust. And that's really on us. I mean, trust is under attack. We have to maintain that of working with people that you really have a belief in their ability. And hate to say it, the younger people, millennial types, or even people under 30 especially, they don't have these type of relationships. They don't even probably want these type of relationships. They're new to this transaction.
Yeah.
They think they got this from an app. And the app doesn't know your local market. The app doesn't know which street has trees. It can't know that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a funny story. I remember years ago, I had a mobile home in Hingham. Hingham, Mass is a very, it's a wealthy, I would say, town per se, and they had the property valued at this was years ago, like 3-4 years ago. They had it valued at like $450,000. It didn't put into effect that it was a mobile home. It sold for $20,000. But the Zestimate, the Zillow app, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, you're preaching the choir on that one, bud.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying that it's incumbent upon us to really maintain and strengthen these relationships. I was looking at the National Association of Realtors report, and they said that it's still 90+% of people find their agent through referrals and common friends. Yes. So that's true now because the financial technology, they call it fintech, is only where it is. But I mean, all the money is in giving the consumer complete control. Look at the Carvana now, the cars coming to your house. That's a whole new world, right? Ordering a Honda and they deliver a Honda.
Yeah.
Right. There's no more guy hanging around the desk, drinking coffee and negotiate all Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. No, it is. It's client relations, face to face will never, there's no, that's irreplaceable. It really is irreplaceable. There's not, there's not, that's not replaceable by an app. In my mind, I see, but
no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not replaceable because I just went to a business function today. It was nice to see people and haven't seen in a while and get to have a laugh or two. That's great. However, what we're doing here on a video is much more scalable. I cannot reach those people at midnight. I cannot tell them about our offering, our real estate company, at 2 a.m, but this video will be here at 2 a.m. And and what's cool about PlugIntro, it gives you control. It's cloud-based, it's on demand, it's not during the workday necessarily, and you could reach unlimited number of people. That's the point.
Sure, no doubt.
Right, you got to reach out to them. So do you have a team? I mean, not just of realtors, but your providers, your lenders, your title companies. How do you pick your people?
I've actually worked with the mortgage broker lender now more or less since I started. I've probably worked with him now for 8+ years. And then as far as the attorneys that I use I've worked with him for the last 3 or 4 years. But I guess you develop, again, like the network, and you develop relationships over time. And I always find if you are loyal and stick with the same inspectors, attorneys, lenders, or whatnot, it's to create that relationship that we were talking about earlier. And it makes the transaction a lot smoother.
Yeah.
But as long as they're
it can, but that's.
Go ahead.
I was saying, I definitely agree that within the transaction, the goal is for things to work. However, I found myself as a broker, I was giving out many more referrals than I was getting. So that's been the inherent unfairness to agents.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I have referral bases I get are primarily just through family, friends, and that sort of thing. It's not, I don't really get too many referrals for clients from, inspectors or attorneys or
Right.
mortgage
Well,
brokers.
that's the thing with this plug intro platform you have, you will give them a chance to invite their contacts. So they may not have a client for you today, each of those providers, the lender, the
Yeah,
title company, the insurance company. But if you were to give them an opportunity to promote themselves, and naturally they
yeah,
want to invite their people, those people see you, your people see them. It's a far greater level of local exposure just by putting enough people in a digital room.
sure, sure. Yeah, no, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be fun. A lot of these networking
Yeah,
organizations, you can't put unlimited people together and they all
yeah,
can't come at the same time.
yeah. Or it's,
Yeah.
the travel to get to an event or whatnot, that sort of thing. But yeah, if you can put
Yeah.
together,
Listen, I went to an event. I went today for 12:30 event. I left my home at 11:30 and I got home about 3:30. That's half the day.
yeah, you've already
In
lost
that
half.
time, I lost
Twenty,
half the day and
more
I'm
than
not,
half of it was driving,
and
probably.
I'm, not. Yeah, half of that was driving, and I'm not in a great mood. And you come back, you don't feel that productive. Whereas if I could sit
Yeah,
down on my computer at 7:30 in the morning, you could bang out 4 or 5 hours, and you've spoken to 100 people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt.
So this was powerful. Okay, listen. I mean, Derek, we're going to have this video interview series. It's year long. We'll have a meeting in very short time, within 1 or 2 weeks. We'll assemble your audience. You'll select your clients and friends and family and local business owners that you want to hear your message, and you'll also give them a chance for their message to be heard. So
Okay.
I'm really happy that you're on board, and this video will be seen by many, many. You can find it on YouTube and PlugIntro and your social media channels and
Sure.
this specific branded group to you.